Hello guys, it's your friend Pratik Patil here, and today we are going to discuss my machine learning project, GDP prediction and analysis. In this project, I and my classmate Pawan Patil came together and we made a system on GDP prediction and analysis on every sovereign nation that there is. So, why this project? First, we're gonna discuss that. We made this project because in this current situation of COVID-19 and before which there are fluctuations in the there's alleged noise insertion in the numbers by various governments, to hide down the bankruptcy that is happening in various countries. And now that the numbers won't be the same again due to the lockdown, it will be really helpful for this system to analyze the numbers and get us a better view of how the GDP is being affected and how the economy is being affected by the lockdown. So this data set has around 1700 plus records. It is from the World Bank and it has around 2000 data for to, till 2017, because these are very accurate numbers, and to crunch up these numbers they take time, so they are a bit delayed. Yes, and then there comes the attributes which are which the data set we have had, that is consumption, which means the amount of things, the value of things that are being consumed by the people of the country, which includes goods and services. So there's a difference, right? So the goods being consumed and the goods being made. So we have to actually take in matter in GDP the goods and services that are being generated. But although that is what we are going to calculate, consumption is a very important factor in this. Then comes market cap, which means let's say Sensex, Nifty. In other countries, there are the various market caps, right, which are based on the share markets of each country, like the New York market, then there is London market, the stockyard. Yes, and then comes government expenditure. You see, most of the GDP is generally the government expenditure being made on the military, and then the services the government is providing to the people, hospitals, and then education. So these are also very big of data. So that being considered, and then there is also imports that the country is making, although it also amounts to the consumption, but it also shows the economic state of the country. And then there is export, so the goods being exported from the country are also considered in this. Yes, so the algorithms that we are going to use are OLS first, to cover up the missing data points in our graph. So what happens is there are multiple times that a country is war torn, right? Let's say there is Afghanistan war. So before 80s, when Afghanistan was a very peaceful country, it had a great environment. Business was booming. There was a lot of trade happening. But after that, uh, due to war, the data was not being generated, so we can't validate this data. So we will use OLS for cover up these missing data points. And then there comes linear regression, by which we will be analyzing the, and then there comes linear regression, where we shall generate the model which shall predict the values based on the training that will provide. Okay, so let's now go to the execution of the project. So the libraries. So there are various libraries that we'll be using, like tkinter for the GUI, matplotlib for printing out the graphs to give you a graphical understanding of the various attributes. Then there is sklearn for generating the model of OLS as well as linear regression. We are using pandas for data pre-processing and file data for taking data from the files. Now let's go to the execution. So in the execution part, we will put the country code 91, which is of India. You can see over here, and we will first tell it to run the code for the model and the OLS. First we'll say predict. Now we have got this GUI, right? Here in this graph, you can clearly see the analysis of the GDP and how it is very similar to the consumption and the market cap as well as the government expenditure right over here. As well as you can see at this point, there is the exports, imports, and the change in the consumption and the GDP factors. Now what I will do is I'll put numbers over here. These are in crores, and the market cap, let's say 20,000. Insects hit over there. Then I'll say imports, let's say 15,000, and exports, okay, let's make it 25, and the exports will make it 20 again, and predict. So this is again the graph. You can save the figure over here. Yes, figure 1 save, and now we'll close. So here you can see the prediction is of 4 lakh crore rupees, and it's in dollars actually, and there is an accuracy of 94.75%, which is also great. So let's get to the code now. Intro, we have used file data, we have used linear model, linear regression from sklearn. We have used matplotlib for plotting the graphs and pandas for data pre-processing. Yes, then there is use of tkinter for GUI purposes, right? So also in this project, my friend Pavan mostly worked on data pre-processing and the GUI, whereas we decided on doing the code algorithms together. And then what we did was we decided that I shall implement the algorithm, and after Pavan is done with the data pre-processing, and then I shall apply this UI to it as well, right? So here is the code. This is where we are actually predicting. We are splitting the data into test and train. Then there is usage of OLS model in case there is missing data. Here we are using the linear regression. We are fitting the algorithm over here, and this is where we are printing the graph. This is the accuracy that we are getting, right? And we are just going to get these variables from over here. Then we will take those variables from here and pass them to the regressor and ask it to predict the GDP. So then, okay, so that's why we have got the accuracy printed twice, and then it returns the predicted GDP. Okay, so where is that returned, you ask? It's returned over here. Okay, so that's how it works. Thank you. Also,